Hey guys, today we're gonna be making an animated progress bar using a bit of HTML and CSS. So once we reload the page, you're gonna be able to see how it animates here. We're gonna have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. And on the right, we're gonna have percentage. So 90% for this one, 40, 70, and 50, and that's how much they're gonna animate here. So I have this open with live server already, and there's just the basic HTML template here. So the first thing we're going to add is going to be a container, and this container is just going to hold everything. Then inside of that, we're going to have a progress container. Then here we're going to add a div with a class of info, and this info is just going to contain those two paragraphs for the text, the one that says HTML, for example, and one that's like 50%. So we can do p times 2, and the first one is just going to be HTML, and here we can add any number. Let's just do 50% for now. And I also want to move this to a new line so we have some space, because we're going to have few of these. And then inside progress container, but under the info, we're going to add another div that's going to be progress bar. And inside of that div, we're going to have another div that's just going to be bar. So now once we have that, we can create as many as we want. But we're going to target this bar in our CSS. So I want to add another class to it since we're going to have multiple of these containers. So for this bar, we're just going to add another class that's going to be bar1. And then we can copy the whole container again. So we're going to have 4 of these. You guys can have as many as you want. We're going to change this to CSS. Then here, let's do 70%. And we want to change this class to bar2. Everything else is going to be the same. Then let's add that one more time. This is going to be JavaScript. And for now, let's just add 40%. And this is going to be part 3 for the second class. And then under that, we want to add one more. So this is just going to say React. Let's do 90%. And the class here is just going to be bar 4. So now let's go back to our CSS. And the first thing here, we're going to add a start to target all the elements. We're going to add a box sizing of border box, margin 0, padding 0, and we're also going to add a font family of sans serif. Then the first thing we have here is our body, so let's target that first. We're going to make it full height. So make height 100 VH. We're going to add a background. And we're also going to add a display of flex here, so we can center this container we have that holds all the cards. But for now, I'll just keep it here so you guys can see it. So we'll center that later. And here we have our container. And let's just add a width of 100% and a max width of 460 pixels. And let's scroll a bit down. Here we have our progress container. So our progress container holds everything right here. It holds this info, which is this part right here. Then it holds progress bar, which is this wrapper div here that's black or gray. And then the bar, this div right here, is going to be one of these colors. So we have progress container here. We're just going to make it full width, so width 100%. And we're going to add a bit of padding, 8 pixels for top and bottom and 0 left and right, just to space them out a bit. Then we have a div with a class of info. We're going to add a color, black, font size of 20 pixels, display flex. I'm going to align them to center. And justify content, space between, just to space them out a bit. And here we have our progress bar. So progress bar, so this is the wrapper div. We're going to make it full width, so width 100%. And add a height of 40 pixels. And a background that's going to be 333. So now you're going to be able to see that. And also for our info, we can add a bit of padding to space this text out from this. So let's just add padding, 8 pixels 0 as well, like that. So now we have this progress bar, and the only thing we need to add is the actual color inside of it and the animation. So let's scroll down here. We're going to target this div, which is bar. So all of them here, and we're just going to add a height of 100%. And then we just added another class to all of them. So this is going to be bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, and 4. This is how we're going to select them in CSS and change the color and other things we need. So we're going to do .bar.bar1, which is the first one. We're going to make it a max width of 50% because we set 50 here. So we want to match that. So that's why. And then we're going to have a background here. So the first one is going to be light blue, as you see here. Then we can repeat the same process. So we can copy this 3 more times. So the first one is bar 1. This has a class of bar 2. And we're going to change this to, let's see, if we go back, this is 50%, this is 70%. So we're going to change this to 70. And we're going to change the color here to red. Then for bar 3, so this should be bar 3. We go back, we can see that as well. So this is 40%. So let's change that to 40. And for the color, we can do orange. And then the last one we have, which is bar 4. We have that at 90%. So we're going to set this to 90. And for the color, we're just going to add light green. So now we got that working. And the only thing left is to animate all of them. So firstly, we're going to animate them at the same time. And then we can do this as well. So I'll show you both ways if you guys prefer this. So they don't animate at the same exact time. So if we want to animate them all at once, we will just target this div here, that's bar. So this is all of them with that animation. Then we can call it like animate. Now let's do 3 seconds, easy and out. And then if we scroll all the way down, we're going to create a keyframes. So add keyframes and we call it animate. And this is going to have from and to. So we want to animate it from 0% in width, so from width 0, and to width 100%. And this is going to work. It's not going to be 100% for all of them because we added max width here. So 100% for this div is going to be 90%. 100% for this div is going to be 40% because that's the max width and it's not going to go over that. So 100% is going to fill whatever is here. So if we save that, you can see them animating. But I don't think it looks that great if they're animated the same speed as you see here. So we can change that up a bit. Instead of adding animation right here on the bar, we're going to cut that from here. And we're going to add it to all of these. So let's do that. 2, 3, and 4. And now the last thing what we want to do here is we just want to change the speed. So we can leave the first one at 3 seconds. We're going to set this one to like 5. This one can be 7. And then the last one, we can set this to 9, for example. And then if we save that, let's reload the page. You can see how they animate here. So they're not animating at the same speed, but this one is still pretty slow. So we can change this one that's 9 to maybe like 5 or 6. Which is going to be completely different. We can also do maybe less if we wanted. We can do 4 here because it's filling up until 90%. So around 4 should be fine. And then if we go on the top, we just need to center this on the page. So we add the display flex to the body. And then to our container, we can just add margin auto to center it on the page. And if we save that, let's reload just so we can see it from start. And there we go. We have our progress bar. And you can mess with these animations. You can make it slower or faster, change colors you like, change these. If you want this first one, for example, to be like 20%, you can just come here to bar 1, change this to 20. Save that, and then change this to 20 as well, because you want your text to match. So this is 20%, so we want to change this to 20 as well. And now that's going to work perfectly fine. So that would be it for this project. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.